I'm at Black Ops 2. I have CEO Nathan Hyde, who we just did a great interview with. And I have Biff, who is the expert here. He's going to do a hazy tasting panel for us. So you want to lead us through the beers, Biff, and tell us what you do for Black Ops. It sounds like you're official beer tester.
Yeah, that's part of it. That's the fun part. But
so you make hazy, you'll make them. This is it's a fun thing to do. But the employees have to try each beer, and you what does the testing involve? Obviously tasting it.
Yep. So for every beer we release, we have to taste it at different stages of the process. So we have to taste the beer before we transfer it, after we transfer it, before we pack it, and after we pack it. So it's a lot of tasting just for one beer.
See, what we have here is beer that's ready for consumers. We're in the tap room.
Yep, so the beer that's in the tap room has already been released. So it's gone through all of that process already.
How would this taste different than something an employee is trying, like your first test?
Well, the first one is before it's transferred. So that beer, if it hasn't been on shelf for long enough or things like that, it might not actually be ready to be transferred. So it might taste too green, too bitter, or a bit yeasty or something like that. And then so we look at the process and the timing around it, and we decide if it's ready to be transferred. And then we wait until it is tasting bright, and then we will transfer the beer. But all of the beer we'll taste is probably going to be, well, it's the freshest you can get.
Yeah, obviously it's brewed right next door. So what do we got here for beers?
So on the far left we've got Stoke Dealer, which is one of our new full range beers, which is a hazy lager. And then we've got East Coast Haze, which is a hazy pale ale, and the Goat, which is a hazy IPA. And then on the end, the newest beer, seasonal, which is a Cali Haze with a hazy IPA as well.
I live in California, so I think that's why we picked that one. Nathan likes the Goat, and obviously hazy beers are hazy. You can't see through that. Yeah, what gives them that haze?
Most of the haze comes from some protein reactions with the hops. To make stable haze. If you got haze from yeast in suspension, it's not kind of the right kind of haze, and that will drop out eventually. So it's just timing around dry hopping and that interaction with yeast to kind of create that stable haze is how we get that into the beer.
Great. You ready to say some?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Nathan's already had some.
Was that stoned, right? Am I doing this properly? Hard draw.
Yeah, so there's a few different tasting methods you can go with to pick up on different aromas. You can, do the short sniff, long sniff, one called the drive-by, focus off those. It's important to hold the beer in your mouth for long enough to let it warm up a little bit, let some of those enzymes in your saliva work on the hops as well too, because they can release some more volatile chemicals.
I feel like I'm way off here, but do I taste like some kind of fruitiness in this one?
Yeah, so this one's quite light already, lemon for sure. Yeah, a bit doughy. It's got some New Zealand hops, so some people might get that kind of like a diesel effect in.
Like diesel gas?
Yeah, it's a funny one to say, but it's,
I don't know if I want that in my.
Yeah, it can, on a low level, it can be like a hop, like a New Zealand hop quality. Yeah.
But doughiness, mate, that's kind of what the lagering process, is that where they're finding coming from?
Yeah, I think so with that one. I'm not
characteristic.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what's our ABV of that one? Do you know offhand?
That one is 4%.
Okay. Yeah, that's a nice. I could definitely drink that on like a hot summer day.
Yeah, easy drinking, kind of reinterpretation of a lager. So it's still got those lager qualities, but a little bit of fruitiness, a little bit of New Zealand quality, and some haze as well. So it's mixing it up.
But 1 for 1 so far. I like it.
And then next, the East Coast. So it's a hazy pale ale, 4.5%.
They do a dry dive.
It's a bit harder. You can do.
Wow.
Covered swirl.
So that one's different, yeah.
Yeah, so this is a bit more tropical, kind of mango, pineapple, quite juicy.
Pineapple, I guess that like pineapple.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get that on the nose straight away, don't you?
Yeah.
Pineapple.
And if you do like a retronasal tasting, you can hold the beer in your mouth for a little while, and then as you swallow, breathe that through your nose, and you might pick up on some more of those aromas.
Oh, that's it.
So Biff also runs education there internally. I'll try and help out with the brew team and all of us in terms of how we look at beer and what we should pick up in terms of smells of, or faults in beer, which is a great program to have.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's a beer expert here. I mean, we mentioned it earlier. There's a lot of people that honestly don't know a lot about their own companies. I think everyone seems to be really knowledgeable about the product yet.
Yeah, it's having the enthusiasm, having the drive to want to learn as well too. That's good. Like, we have 10 people showing up for off-flavor sessions, and 6 people doing retention tasting today, which is basically tasting our old beer and make sure it's tasting good when it's still out in the market. That one, sometimes it's old warm beer as well that was last warming.
Oh, and on purpose? Or,
yeah.
So it's like, right?
Yeah. So compared to drinking fresh beer, it's not always the most fun job, but, still you have people turning up for that. So.
Beer. But this is good beer. We got the Goat next. Nathan had alluded this was his favorite. Can you tell us about that?
Yep, so it's our Hazy IPA, Goat, greatest of all time, as its name goes.
We were talking about the fact that we want to get a can of this in Nathan Lyons and the cricketer.
Oh, yeah.
Big mate.
Yep.
And Derek said Tom Brady, which is their
that's our goat.
Yeah.
I
think I'd rather have it in the hands of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Quietly.
Then you can sell a few cans.
It's a bit of a difference. There, yeah. So it's going to follow.
Also, like it's citrus again a little bit too.
It's going to follow a similar profile to the East Coast. It's almost like its big brother. So it's got a bit more sweetness. It may be a little bit more bitterness, but it's balanced with that sweetness.
It is a little bitter.
And you've got some light, kind of stone fruit, kind of peach apricot.
Yeah.
Again, with that mango pineapple.
That sweetness, Biff, where does that come from?
Comes from the beer to high alcohol as well, so it's 6.5%. So
I mean, because essentially alcohol is just sugar, right?
With that, and then it's also got a bit of a higher finishing gravity, so the residual sugar in the beer too. So there'll be some unfermentable sugar or gravity in that beer, whereas that one will be a lower gravity. But yeah, with alcohol comes sweetness as well.
And then we'll learn, what was the ABV of that?
6.5%.
Oh, that's up much higher. Okay. That's why you like it.
Well, I'm torn. Like it was you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
About choosing your favourite child. That Stoke dealer, as a go-to every day.
Yeah, so
Like a terrific beer. This too, you're getting more into that fruity characteristics. Goat, I just love.
they're getting a little more complex as we go, I think.
It's one of those ones too, like, I was always a big fan of Goat, but at 6.5%, you can't drink it all the time.
Oh yeah, I think I get 2 of those, I'd be having a good day.
And then that's why kind of East Coast exists as well too, is to satisfy that same kind of thirst you have for Goat, but at a bit more approachable kind of ABV.
But they'll still be speaking in the afternoon.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it is still pretty early when we're drinking this. Lastly, your newest beer, the California Haze. Why is it named after California? I live there, so I'm curious about that.
That's a good point. I'm not 100% sure. I think we had a range of beers in our California series. So I think we did some West Coast and then some different styles, and then
kind of the whole vibe. Because we were talking earlier too that the vibe of Australia is kind of very similar to that California provides it so far. So kind of laid back, ocean.
Yeah, I think it might have come up originally as one of our brewers was from California, and he's moved back there now. So I think they did that original Cali for him, and then now it's spawned some little offshoots, and this is one of them. It was originally a small batch that was popular, so they've rolled it out to...
Yeah, I love that you guys are always doing experimental batches. And then I assume through your sensory testing, if they test really well, that's how they get any further into production.
And also how they move in the tap roomy stuff, and if they move quickly in train, that's a pretty big indicator too that it's a popular beer of style.
Yeah, and having this separate was a great test sample already. So
So is this modelled on like a West Coast style? Is this the theory behind it, Biff? Or that one's good too. Really good.
I think so. So it's a bit of a oxymoron being a hazy West Coast style, because the West Coast is sweet and very bitter and clear.
But none of these are like overly bitter. I've usually if I do a sampling like this, there's a new one where I'm like, I don't know if I want to drink that.
Yeah,
I'll drink all 4 of these.
they're all quite soft. Again, this one's got some more sweetness. It does have some of those pine and grapefruit kind of qualities, which can kind of put in that, West Coasty kind of style. But
You know what's funny is I can never point out single ingredients, and then when the expert says the ingredient, oh yeah, I taste that. Suddenly, you're like, oh, the grape. I got that. Yeah.
yeah,
So this is terrific. The team have done a really good job with it.
yeah, it's tasting really good. Yeah.
So yeah, great 4 flights of beer here. Looking forward to trying more. Biff, thank you for your time.
No worries. Cheers.